Happy Juneteenth! Today's article is from June 20th, 1967. It's by Huey P. Newton, who was the Minister of Defense, in defense of self-defense. Laws and rules have always been made to serve people. Rules of society are set up by people so they will be able to function in a harmonious way. In other words, in order to promote the general welfare of society, rules and laws are established by men. Rules should serve men and not men serve rules. The man is greater than the rules or laws that he constructs. Much of the time, the laws and rules which officials attempt to inflict on poor people are non-functional in relation to the status of the poor in society. These officials are blind to the fact that people should not respect rules that are not serving them. It is the duty of the poor to write and construct rules and laws that are in their better interest. This is one of the basic human rights of all men. Before 1776, white people were colonized by the English. The English government had certain laws and rules that the colonized Americans viewed as not in their best interest, but as colonized people. At that time, the English government felt that the colonized Americans had no rights to establish laws to promote the general welfare of the people living here in America. The colonized American felt he had no choice but to raise the gun in defense of the welfare of the colonized people. At this time, he made certain laws ensuring his protection from external and internal aggressions from governments and agencies. One such form of protection was the Declaration of Independence, which states, "Whenever any government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles, and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness." Now these same colonized white people, these ex-slaves, robbers, and thieves, have denied the colonized black man the right to even speak of abolishing this oppressive system which the white colonized American created. They have carried their madness to the four corners of the earth, and now there is universal rebellion against their continued rule and power. The black people in America are only people who can free the world, loosen the yoke of colonialism, and destroy the war machine. As long as the wheels of the imperialistic war machine are turning, there is no country that can defeat this monster of the West. But black people can make a malfunction of this machine from within. Black people can destroy the machinery that's enslaving the world. America cannot stand to fight every black country in the world and fight a civil war at the same time. It is militarily impossible to do both these things at once. The slavery of blacks in this country provides the oil for the machinery of war that America uses to enslave the peoples of the world. Without this oil, the machinery cannot function. We are the driving shaft. We are in such a strategic position in this machinery that once we become dislocated, the functioning of the remainder of the machinery breaks down. Penned up in the ghettos of America, surrounded by his factories and all the physical components of his economic system, we have been made into the wretched of the earth, who are relegated to the position of spectators while the white racists run their international con game on the suffering peoples. We have been brainwashed to believe that we are powerless and that there is nothing we can do for ourselves to bring about a speedy liberation for our people. We have been taught that we must please our oppressors, that we are only 10% of the population, and therefore we must confine our tactics to categories calculated not to disturb the sleep of our tormentors. The power structure inflicts pain and brutality upon the peoples, then provides controlled outlets for the pain in ways least likely to upset them or interfere with the process of exploitation. The people must repudiate the channels established as tricks and deceitful snares by the exploiter oppressors. The people must oppose everything the oppressor supports and support everything he opposes. If black people go about their struggle for liberation in the way that the oppressor dictates and sponsors, then we will have degenerated to the level of groveling flunkies for the oppressor himself. When the oppressor makes a vicious attack against freedom fighters because of the way that such freedom fighters choose to go about their liberation, then we know we are moving in the direction of our liberation. The racist dog oppressors have no rights, which oppressed black people are bound to respect. As long as the racist dogs pollute the earth with the evil of their actions, they do not deserve any respect at all. And the rules of their game written in the people's blood are beneath contempt. The oppressor must be harassed until his doom. He must have no peace by day or by night. The slaves have always outnumbered the slave masters. The power of the oppressor rests upon the submission of the people. When black people really unite and rise up in all their splendid millions, they will have the strength to smash injustice. We do not understand the power in our numbers. We are millions and millions of black people scattered across the continent and throughout the Western Hemisphere. There are more black people in America than the total population of many countries that now enjoy full membership in the UN. They have power, and their power is based primarily on the fact that they are organized and united with each other. They are recognized by all the powers of the world. We, with all our numbers, are recognized by no one. In fact, we do not even recognize our own selves. We are unaware of the potential power latent in our numbers. In L967, in the midst of a hostile racist nation whose hidden racism is rising to the surface at a phenomenal speed, we are still so blind to our critical fight for our very survival that we are continuing to function in petty, futile ways, divided, confused, fighting among ourselves. We are still in the elementary stage of throwing rock sticks, empty wine bottles, and beer cans at racist cops who lie in wait for a chance to murder unarmed Black people. The racist cops have worked out a system for suppressing these spontaneous rebellions that flare up from the anger, frustration, and desperation of the masses of Black people. We can no longer afford the dubious luxury of the terrible casualties wantonly inflicted upon us by the cops during these spontaneous rebellions. Black people must move from grassroots up through the perfumed circles of the Black bourgeoisie to seize by any means necessary a proportionate share of the power vested and collected in the structure of America. We must organize and unite to combat by long resistance the brutal force used against us daily. The power structure depends on the use of force without retaliation. This is why they want the people unarmed. This is why they have made it a felony to teach guerrilla warfare. The racist dog oppressor fears the armed people. They fear most of all Black people armed with weapons and the ideology of the Black Panther Party for self-defense. And unarmed people are slaves or subject to slavery at any given moment. If a government is not afraid of the people, it will arm the people and teach guerrilla tactics as a means for survival of the people from foreign aggression. Black people are held captive in the midst of their oppressors. There is a world of difference between 30 million unarmed, submissive Black people and 30 million people armed with freedom and defense, guns, and the strategic methods of liberation. When a mechanic wants to fix a broken down car engine, he must have the necessary tools to do the job. When the people move for liberation, they must have the basic tool of liberation, the gun. Only with the power of the gun can the Black masses halt the terror and the brutality perpetrated against them by the armed racist power structures. And in one sense, only by the power of the gun can the whole world be transformed into the earthly paradise dreamed of by people from time immemorial. One successful practitioner of the art and science of national liberation and self-defense put it this way: we are advocates for the abolition of war. We do not want war, but war can only be abolished through war, and in order to get rid of the gun, it is necessary to take up the gun. Brother Mao Zedong. The blood, sweat, and tears and suffering of Black people are the foundation of the wealth and power of the United States of America. We were forced to build America, and if forced, we will tear it down. The immediate result of this destruction will be suffering and bloodshed, but the end result will be perpetual peace for all mankind.